Hello everyone, I'm Chase at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, giving you a closer look at the Aventure Evo Boot from Falco. Alright, today we're giving you a closer look at the Aventure Evo Boot coming from Falco. This is a new boot for 2019, replaces the previous Avantour. So the Avantour has been around for a few years, did very well, really popular boot, but they've now updated it and made it even better. And the biggest noticeable change that you're going to see right away is with the sole design. So they have now used a bonded sole on the Aventure Evo versus just a traditional stitched-on sole that they had with the Avantour with the original. And the reason for that is, one, it helps keep the boot lighter, so they lighten up the boot a little bit, which I noticed when I put these on. Also, it's going to have a little bit grippier feel for the rider's foot pegs. So for riders that like a nice grippy feel on their sole, it will give you that. But also just looking at the sole design, which we'll show you here in just a little bit, I think for off the bike, just walking around, it's going to be a little bit better for that as well. Now before we dive in, talk about all the features, let's talk about fit real quick. So when I put these on, right away what I noticed, fit moves true to size, very comfortable right out of the box. I don't think it's going to take hardly any time for these to break in. Nice wide toe box, so for riders that have wider feet, I think will accommodate those well. And they did leave a pretty generous opening at the top. So if you wear a knee guard, maybe a knee brace, I don't think you have anything to worry about with these. But remember, this isn't a apparel item, which means if you buy this boot or any boot that we sell at Rocky Mountain, if you're not happy with the sizing or the fitment, send it back to us in brand new unused condition. We have our fit guarantee, which means you get free shipping both ways on your first exchange, just to make sure you get the size and the fit that you are looking for. So if we talk about construction, you're going to be full grain leather throughout, 2 different colorways available. You got the brown here, the black to my left. So you got full grain leather, but what I like about these is how much reinforcement that they've put on these. So on the toe box here, you can see you've got this reinforcement panel here. It's going to be a hard plastic. So you're going to have that on both sides. That really comes in handy, especially on the left boot where you're going to be shifting. Reinforcement panel here on the lateral side. So again, just protecting that leather. And as you work your way around the entire boot, you're going to notice a lot of hard plastic. You can see here on the lateral side, hard plastic from the sole all the way up to about halfway up the boot. You have a D3O molecular reinforced heel cup. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then working your way to the medial side, again, hard plastic about halfway up the boot. And then you can see that full grain leather working your way all the way up to the top. You also notice right here on their hinge that they've actually textured it right here. So when I actually grab this with my fingers, very grippy feel to it. So if you're working hard on the bike and you're really squeezing, it's going to get some added grip to the bike as well. So with the shin plate, hard plastic polyurethane shin plate there. Talking about the buckles. Here's the one thing I feel like they kind of missed the mark on with this boot. Not my favorite buckle design. They use the same buckles they had on the Avantour. I wish that they would take the buckles that they have in their Mixto 2 boot and put them on the Aventure Evo. It's just, to me, a little bit more of a dated buckle design. They're alloy buckles, they are replaceable, just not my favorite buckle design. So when I pop these open, you can see it's kind of just that old school style buckle that we've seen on boots for many, many years. Like I said, I just think there's better buckle designs available, but they're still gonna work, they're still gonna get the job done. If I open those up, open up your Velcro panel at the top. So a nice big panel there. When I open that, there's going to be your High-Tex waterproof liner. So again, your boot's gonna be waterproof till right about here. And then on the inside there, moisture wicking liner on the inside. And also, you're not gonna be able to see it, but they did put some padding around the ankle area on the inside as well. So buckle these back up. So let's talk about that hinge. So what's called is their SO Motion 2 hinge design. So what's cool about it, I like to see any boot that has a dual or a lateral and a medial hinge for 2 reasons. One, it gives good flexibility right out of the box. You're not going to have any bulging around the ankle area, but also it gives really good lateral rigidity to the rider's ankle. So I like a boot that has good lateral support, and that's what you're getting here with the Falco. Now when you look at the heel cup, another cool feature here, like I mentioned earlier, D3O molecular armor in that heel cup, so very good impact absorption. If you're not really familiar with D3O, it's a molecular armor. And what's cool about it is that when a shock or an impact is introduced to it, the molecules will actually bind together and harden up. They do an incredible job of absorbing and dispersing energy. And we see D3O molecular armor in a lot of items, a lot of jackets, a lot of pants, because it works really well. So that's what you're getting there in that heel cup. And the last thing we will talk about is going to be with their sole. Like I mentioned earlier, the big change to the Aventure Evo is they're now using a bonded sole versus a traditional stitched-on sole. And some of the big benefits that Falco is saying that you get with this bonded sole is, one, keeps the boot lightweight, which I noticed right away when I put this on. It feels very light on the feet. But also, the rubber material that they're using, they say has more grip for the rider's foot peg. So if you like a good planted feel, you're getting an improvement there. But also just looking at it, something I noticed, comparing it to the previous Avantour, I think this sole design is going to be much better if you're off the bike just walking around. So for adventure touring, if you spend a little bit of time off the bike, I think this sole design is going to accommodate that well. And there it is. That is the Aventura Evo Boot coming from Falco. Again, new for 2019. If you have any questions or comments about it, leave those below. We'll get your questions answered. And to pick up your next set, it's real simple. Just click on the link at the end of this video or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Remember, we have a lot of different adventure touring boots to choose from. If you're not quite sure which one you want, you can also check out our Dual Sport Adventure Boot Buyer's Guide, where we give you 5 great options, give you a great starting point if you're not quite sure. I'm Chase at Rocky Mountain. We'll see you on the trails.